here is our first video about passive voice. What exactly is passive voice? Well, I think I'd like to start by telling you what it is not. It is not a tense. Any of the 12 English tenses can be put into passive voice. It isn't any special meaning by itself, and it definitely is not just more formal way of speaking or a more educated way of speaking. It's a grammar structure. It is a grammar structure, meaning it's about the order of the words and the job the words have in a sentence. Specifically, it's a way that we focus attention on the object of the verb that usually comes after the verb, but we make it come first so we think about it more. It can possibly be a way to hide who does the verb, and there are different reasons we might want to do that. Here's an example. This is a passive sentence. Dogs must be leashed. That is passive. The message is about dogs. We're thinking about dogs. We're not talking about the person who leashes the dog. That could be anyone. Doesn't matter. We're thinking more about dogs than the people responsible for the dogs. Another example. This actually has two passive forms in it. The first one says illegally parked vehicles. Parked. Who parked the car? It doesn't really matter who parked it, so we don't mention who parked it. Then look at the whole group, illegally parked vehicles. What will happen to them? They will be towed. Who will tow them? We don't know. So we don't know who parked the car, we don't know who will tow it, but we're thinking about cars and what could happen to them. So those are real-life examples of using passive voice. It's a grammar structure you see, but it's also one that you can use, and I want you to know when and why, when you want to focus on the object. So how do you form passive voice? There are 4 steps, and we'll learn those 4 steps, but I want to start by looking at some necessary vocabulary. First, subject and verb. Now you know these words. These are very familiar. These are roles in a sentence. Here's a new word though, agent. The agent is whoever or whatever does the verb, and the object experiences the action of the verb. Here's an example. I ate an apple, and the agent who ate. The agent and the subject are the same in this case. A different one, you're drinking tea. The agent and the subject are the same. She will write a book. The agent and the subject are the same. That's how we know these 3 are active sentences, because the subject, which is just about the order of the words, and the agent, which is about the meaning of the words, they are the same. Here is the first of our 4 steps. First of all, you change the subject and the object. You change the person who did the verb and the thing that experiences the verb. This book now becomes the subject. It was the object, now it's the subject. Then you look at the main verb. You've got to change it to past participle. It doesn't matter what tense it was originally, past, present, future, continuous. Make it past participle. And then add a helping verb. The helping verb is always be. Now it should match the tense of the original. The original sentence here was simple past. The helping verb be is simple past. The be verb will use the same tense. The past participle will use the same meaning. So we break apart those 2 roles, those 2 jobs the verb has, tense and action, put them on 2 different words. Now, I have, at the end of this, I had the word me. If you want to tell us who did the verb, we call it a by phrase. Put the agent in a by phrase if you need the idea. It was written by me. So I wrote this book was written by me, have exactly the same meaning. So, quick review. 4 steps. Here is the active sentence, and you know it's active because the agent who ate, I. And what's the subject? I. They're the same. Passive. Well, here's our verb, but we will switch the subject and the object. So now the new object is the agent. Change, I'm going to go ahead and change it to object form right now. Now change the verb. Main verb becomes past participle. Add the helping verb be. Remember to keep the same tense. So if it's simple past, be is simple tense. Those are the three main steps. You now have a passive sentence. But let's check out the agent. Do we want to share who the agent was? Then we put it in a by phrase, the preposition by. All right, there's active, there's passive. Let's try a different tense. You're drinking tea. This is present continuous. All right, keep the same verb. That tense is fine. Change the subject and the object. The agent now is at the end. Change the verb. Is drunk. Only change that main verb, whatever the form is, change it to past participle. I did change the agreement, are and is, but now I put in the helping verb be. Look at the main verb. It was a gerund, ing. Ing goes to the helping verb. The meaning, past participle. Tea is being drunk. Step 4, remember, do I want a by phrase? I can add it if I want. Future tense. All right, you know what to do. Will write, keep the verb, change. Change the subject and the object. I have just changed she into her because it's an object. Change the main verb, keep the helping verb. Write becomes written. Main verb becomes past participle. Now I will add my helping verb. Why is it be? I didn't change it. I didn't put any tense on it. Why? Well, look at write. The verb write here does not have any tense. It's base form. A book will be written. First 3 steps, I'm done. But maybe I want to include the information about who will do it by her. That's the by phrase. Okay, so we've seen a variety of tenses. You know how to do it. But why do you choose to use passive voice? What could your reason be? Well, let's look at this one. The car was badly parked. The meaning, I think, is clear. You're looking at a car. It doesn't look like it's in the right place, but you don't know who parked it. Why would you use passive voice? Well, because I'm looking at the car, I'm thinking about the car, and I don't know who parked it. So the two things, I'm thinking about the car, not the driver. And in fact, I don't know who the agent is. Remember, the agent did the parking. I don't know who it is. Here's another example. This time I'd like to ask, why am I using passive voice? And why am I using the by phrase? Why did I add by me? Well, the focus here is on the book. Maybe I'm talking about a lot of books. I'm showing you this book was written by that person, this book was written by this person, and this book was written by me. So, talking about books, not about writers. Why have I included by me? Well, in this case, if I don't include the by phrase, it just doesn't make sense. The book was written. Of course, all books are written. That doesn't mean a lot. I need to say more. Now, please only use passive in your writing if you have a reason to use it. And so some reasons are, you don't know who did the action, right? Leash the dog. The dog should be leashed. The car will be towed. I don't know who will do that. I just know it will happen. Sometimes you do know who did it, but you don't want to say who did it. Or it just doesn't matter. It could have been anybody. So generally, if you want to focus on the object for any of these reasons, choose passive voice. Similarly, the by phrase. Usually leave it out. If you're going to tell us who did it, then probably you should keep it active form. But sometimes you do have a reason to use it. You're really focused on talking about objects. Use it if you have a reason, like the book was written by me. We needed it. Now, remember these key points. What is passive voice? What is it not? Remember, memorize your 4 steps for transforming. Remember your reasons to use it and your reasons to add the by phrase. Thanks a lot. That's the end of this video.